I'm Anna, this is Noviqu, and the future is now. The manufacturing industry is in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution, with Internet of Things devices, robotics, and digitization at its core. While this is going on, we're still seeing 75% of manufacturers utilizing manual data collection processes, like this binder you see in this photo, for their day-to-day processes, for their training records, their maintenance logs, for their safety incident reports, for their MSDS. They keep all of this information paper-based. What that means is managers have a hard time pulling reporting out of those paper-based processes, and there's no real transparency or guidelines between employees and managers, but it doesn't have to be. Let's take Justin, for example. Justin is a manager at a manufacturing facility, and yesterday was not Justin's day. As soon as he hit the production floor, things started to go wrong. The bottle filler broke for what seems like the 100th time this month, and he did quickly find a maintenance worker to fix it. After that, a 20-year veteran of the company called in sick for the first time ever, and he had to find a qualified replacement on the fly. And then, as he was walking the production floor, he saw an employee driving a forklift who he's pretty sure hasn't had the proper training, which is definitely a safety hazard. All of this is stressful, but more than that, it costs Justin and his manufacturer time and money, which is essentially money squared, when it definitely doesn't have to. For that, we created Noviqu Insight, an engaging platform for safety, maintenance, and training processes. Instead of having to go to 3 different people or pull up 3 different systems, Justin could simply pull up Noviqu Insight on his phone and see just how well his facility is actually running. For Justin, requesting maintenance could be as easy as scanning a QR code and clicking a button. He can even take pictures of what needs to be fixed, and that information will instantly alert a technician. To find a qualified replacement when someone calls in sick, he can simply pull up the machine, see all the list of trained employees to run that machine, and their current training level. And if he wants to check on that employee that whizzes by on a forklift, he can pull up their profile in the system, see every piece of training they've ever taken, and their scores on any quizzes. Now, Noviqu Insight is not the only solution we've created to the problems that manufacturers of today face. Often, manufacturers have a hard time knowing where their materials are until they've hit their back door. And for that, we've created Noviqu Material Tracker, a just-in-time manufacturing tool that tracks materials from the time a purchase order is created until it's been received and ready for production, which creates visibility throughout the entire process for everybody involved. We've priced both Noviqu Insight and Noviqu Material Tracker as a subscription-based model with per-month fees. So for Material Tracker, we have a one-time setup fee, and that's so that we can integrate with systems already in place within their facilities, such as SAP or Oracle, and then a $1,500 per month price. For Noviqu Material Tracker, we charge a per-facility per-month price, as well as a manager price. Any floor employee that's just trying to go in, get their job done, do their work is completely free in Noviqu Insight. With over 250,000 manufacturing firms in the United States alone, we're looking at a current addressable market for us of over 50,000 firms. And those are firms that are Midwest-based, between 100 and 500 employees in their facility, and still utilizing those manual data collection processes. For our current addressable market times the average price of Noviqu, that puts us at a little bit over $1 billion current addressable market. And we're pretty excited about that. We started with the manufacturing industry, but that doesn't mean that there isn't applicability in tons of other markets. Safety, maintenance, and training recording is popular and necessary in so many others, like construction, utilities, transportation, educational research facilities, and we see those as viable secondary or tertiary markets. Our current customers do love us. They love our products. Our customers currently include Frontier Co-op, a spices and incense manufacturer out of Iowa, the Durham Company, an electrical box manufacturer out of southern Missouri, and Unilever, who's in Jefferson City, Missouri. They make products like Axe, Suave, Dove, Ben & Jerry's, Knorr, Lipton, and just about everything else in your bathroom or kitchen as well. And between those 3, we're sitting at a little bit over $60,000 in annual recurring revenue with 3-year signed contracts with all 3. Our team currently includes myself, our CEO and co-founder. I have over 7 years of design and development experience. My CTO is Chad Haney, with over 15 years of development experience, including integration with Oracle, which is common back office solution in manufacturing. And Austin Gardner, who has 3 years of development experience. The three of us are the co-founders of Noviqu, and we've worked together separately as a different company for 4 years. And then we just, in April, hired our first non-founding team member, Tim Gordon, who is our Director of Sales and Marketing, with over 15 years of sales and marketing experience, well-versed in entrepreneurship. His previous company, Clever Real Estate, went through Capital Innovators here in town, so he's well-versed in entrepreneurship. And then just this week, we sent out an offer letter to a third developer, so we're really excited about that as well. So we are Noviqu. We're here to take manufacturing to the next level, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Please raise your hands if you have questions. We don't have an additional microphone, so if anybody wants to start. All right, I'll start.
Cool.
It's a cliche question, but what can we do for you? What are you looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. So we love the St. Louis area. It's not too far from us. We're actually Moberly, Missouri based. So any introductions you could to potential manufacturers would be great. We're also in the process of beginning to raise a round of funding. We're beginning to raise a $1.5 million seed round. So we'd be interested in talking to any potential investors as well.
I'm interested in the background of what got you going to develop the technology and sort of how you did that, what your steps were.
Yeah, absolutely. So before this, and I mentioned the three co-founders we worked together, we actually owned our own software development company called Tin Can Technologies. We did custom software solutions for whoever needed it. And in that process, we had the opportunity to talk with Unilever in Jefferson City and bid on a project to do cleaning, lubricating, and inspecting checklists. We had the opportunity to sit in this room with the entire excellence in manufacturing team, and the maintenance manager started complaining to the training manager, who started arguing with the safety manager about whose job was hardest, what reports they couldn't pull, and all this kind of stuff. And while what they asked for was a cleaning, lubricating, and inspecting product or checklist or software, we asked them if we could come back and ask them more questions. And they said, sure. So we interviewed them, and one of the things that I've always prided myself on is finding those pain points and being able to find the root of the problem. You may say you want something for cleaning, lubricating, and inspecting, but what you really need is a full-blown system that has full-blown reporting. But that wasn't enough for us, so we took those ideas and started asking other manufacturers. We got on Reddit and Craigslist and anywhere else we could, and asked around, and we found that these pain points of taking paper-based processes that are super rampant in manufacturing still, even though they've got Internet of Things devices on their machines, and making them digital was a niche that we could fill. Great question.
You're up.
Oh, so what's the competitive landscape?
Absolutely. So we have competition in all three sectors. So Tooling U and How Factory are digital solutions for training. Upkeep is a digital solution for maintenance, and Safety Culture is a digital solution for safety audits. But none of our competition does all three. So one of our competitive advantages are that we are one platform for all three, which provides better reporting, better metrics, because they're interconnected. As well as we've priced ourselves where floor employees are free. All of our competition price themselves as a per seat basis. So with manufacturers, there's a lot of turnover on floor employees, and if you're trying to do it's hard to budget for a number that's constantly changing. So that's been something that's reduced our barrier to entry with our managers. And then we've also tried to price ourselves under signature authority so that any of the managers we are tracking or going after can pull the trigger without having to go too high up the chain.
Do you eliminate the paper then, or is it, so all the paper that used to be in that process is gone?
Is gone, yes. That is the idea, and this is definitely where we're started. I will say we have lofty goals for the future. We would love to be the one-stop shop for manufacturers, maybe not replace their EHS systems or their systems in general, but be the one-stop shop for all that information. Be able to pull information from SAP and Oracle and be the hub for the digital center of a manufacturing facility. We already have ideas for communications and workflow modules, etc. Yeah?
Can you speak to your planned sales processes, or how do you see the sales side scaling?
Absolutely. So we just brought on our Director of Sales and Marketing because, as I said before, the three of us that are co-founders are designers and developers, and so that's not our area of expertise. So we right now are targeting three different ways. The first is we're doing direct sales. Trade shows are huge in manufacturing, so we're hitting those a lot, as well as some cold calling, but a lot of warm introductions, and the warm introductions have been amazing for us. We've gotten really good footing with good companies when we have warm introductions. We're doing some targeted marketing. We're trying a few different things. I don't know if anybody's ever read the book Traction, but it's essentially you're trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to get to your customers as far as marketing and sales go. And so we're trying a few different things right now, like microsites for a safety incident calculator, where manufacturers can go on and put in a small cut in the hand and see how much that actually is going to cost them, both in direct costs and indirect costs, and how many sales that means that they have to do to offset a small cut on the hand. So we're doing some of that, and then we're working on strategic partnerships. We just recently partnered with the Missouri Association of Manufacturers. So we're one of their preferred partners for technology and safety things. And then we're partnering with TMA out of Illinois, Missouri Employers Mutual, Missouri Enterprise, but we're trying to get some good partnerships with companies that will help us get into more manufacturers quickly.
I know you guys are sum up, but could you talk specifically or to what your target customer looks like? Is there a certain number of managers or a certain type of manufacturing process that they implement?
Yeah, so not a certain type of manufacturer as far as what they manufacture or their process. Most manufacturing has their own processes, and what we've built is customizable for whatever they need, and they do the customizations themselves. We don't have to go in there and customize it for everybody. It's a flexible enough platform. So what our customers look like. The reason we're targeting 100 to 500 employees is they generally have dedicated managers for safety or EHS, which is environmental health and safety, a maintenance manager, and a training manager, or sometimes that training manager is also just HR. But generally, if they've got 100 employees or more, there's each one of those managers in the system, so they can each take a piece of the pie. So that's one of the reasons why we've targeted them, and that's one of the size things. But we're working with the Durham company, who has machines that are 50 plus years old. We're working with Unilever, who just bought a new machine yesterday. And we're trying some of these things out to see where our niche really will lie. But for now, we haven't seen any need to niche down even further. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
On your competitive landscape, do you get buy versus build as well?
Ask that question
Do you
again?
get buy versus build? I could internally build this rather than buy a solution?
I haven't run into that yet. Most manufacturers that I talk to don't have internal IT departments already, and the ones that do are supporting stuff that they've already created. For example, I was just up in Iowa at a company, and they've got an internal system that does their logging in and logging out of, time clock system. Sorry, that was really hard. It's early. They do their time clock system, and it's so buggy that they just decided to scrap it and put a hold on development and wait, and they're taking that process and actually going back to paper-based. And so we found that there's a lot of distrust for internal IT in manufacturing, and being external actually has been a positive for us.
And so is all cloud delivered, or is it?
Yep, we're all cloud. It's a web-based application. They can pull it up on a phone, a tablet, or a computer. Or a TV, which is super fun to see it up on a big TV like this in a facility. I like that.
So you're about to raise a round.
Yep.
Get back down to what kind of structure? I mean, have you gone out and pitched yet, or what kind of structure of the round are you looking at, or are you gonna let your lead define that? Like, what are you looking at there, and how's that process playing out for you in St. Louis?
I have not started having conversations about it yet,
Okay.
For a few different reasons. We've raised $240,000 to date. We're looking to raise this $1.5 million round because we want to grow, and we want to grow fast, but we don't want to grow for the sake of growth. A $1.5 million round will give us at least 18 months of runway and allow us to hire 14 people, which I've got up here. That's 6 more developers, 5 more salespeople, marketing and customer support. We find that these are our areas that we're going to utilize the most and need over the next 18 months. So the process hasn't really started for me yet, and I don't remember the other half of your question. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I was wondering the actual structure.
Oh, like what we're going to value ourselves at?
No,
Or
like
it'll be a price round if that helps.
yeah, equity.
Yep,
or-
equity
or
price
safe.
round.
Right. Okay.
Yep, we've done safe notes, and we've done a couple common stock equity, but nothing priced, nothing preferred yet, and that will be what this round will be.
Yeah. Great.
If your safety aspect helps prevent problems from happening. I would think the workers' comp insurance companies might be strategic alliances.
Agreed. That's why we're talking to Missouri Employers Mutual, who's an insurance company in that, and then Missouri Enterprise. We see that as a really beneficial partnership for us. We don't have any good data on it yet. I'm really looking forward to having that data so I can say we can prevent X percentage of your safety incidents or whatever, but we don't have that data yet. But I agree. I think that's a good partnership. And if you know anybody here in town that would be good to talk to, I'd love to get that information.
When do you think you'll have that data?
Great question. Next 6 months is my guess. Right now we're working on doing some case studies with Unilever, with Frontier. They're putting us into a couple different trial places and we're really excited about it in multiple locations. So that'll be kind of fun for us. But we should be able to get some data out of that. The hard part actually is not necessarily getting the data about how efficient or safe they are once they're in Noviqu. It's the pre-information because lots of people have no idea how safe or unsafe they actually are right now.
Do you think that might be a problem with selling? I mean, do you think people actually want to know how unsafe they are?
Yeah, I think people want to know how unsafe they are, specifically the safety managers. I think your regular run-of-the-mill floor employee does not care. They probably should, but they don't. But I definitely believe that the plant manager or whoever's over the entire facility and that safety manager actually care about how safe they are from a safety standpoint. Training managers want to know where their gaps are. Where's their skill gap? They have so many people trained on one machine, but they only have one person trained on this one. They need to get people trained on that. And right now there's no good way in paper-based systems to find that information out without spending hours of combing through it. And then making Excel documents that are horribly disgusting. Yeah.
Who's your customer within the organization? Who has buying power?
Depends on the size. So a Unilever size, we bought in with the training manager. The Frontier size, which is 5 facilities and 100 to 150 in each facility, their training manager also. The Durham company, it was their maintenance manager. But they're all different size companies. The Durham company has 3 facilities, but they're between 200 and 150 at each facility. They're a smaller company, and we went with them as a small bet to see how well that would work. But still, the maintenance manager has buying power. What we've run into lately is that some companies that are only 1 facility, those managers don't have the same buying power. But if we're more spread out, we have at least 2 facilities, it's different. Or if they're part of a big corporation like a Unilever, that tends to be the case. So we're running into a little bit of it has to go up the chain with some of the smaller facilities, but the ones we've been targeting, pretty much if you're a safety, maintenance, or training manager, you have buying power.
Is
Yeah.
IT a hindrance then? Does IT block you because you're going to have to interface with their systems?
No and yes. Right now we don't have to interface with any of their systems because our system is completely separate. But as we move towards integration, yes, it is a hindrance. I have talked with IT at a couple of our customers and it's just starting the process now. We actually are hoping to get partnerships with companies like Oracle, get into their NetSuite, actually connect to their API, because if we can just go ahead and get in with the company they're already in with, then it's a no-brainer and I don't have to worry about IT there. Good question.
Anybody else?
So, I know you have 3 customers, but what do you anticipate your sales cycle?
So for all 3 of those customers, it was about a month from start to finish, and that is so not the case that we've been seeing from here. It all depends on fiscal year, is what we're noticing at this point. Lots of them are like, I'm so ready to buy, but I can't buy until my next fiscal year. So come back in August, come back in December, come back in September. So we're doing a lot of that right now and figuring out what that means. And so for us, sales cycle is going to completely and totally depend, I think, on fiscal year for our customers, which could be a month turnaround with it, which is what it was for all 3 of our first customers, or it could be 4 months because we talked to them, they're like, yes, I'm ready to buy, come back in 4 months, and then we buy. That's a totally not unique or not precise answer, and I apologize for that, but we're still trying to figure it out.
Typically, your fiscal year precedent, your sales cycle is 12 to 18 months. So, because the fiscal year that you're in now, you're on the wish list because nobody's budgeting for it.
Right.
And it's going to be the last money released over the fiscal year. So you're going to end up being on a good side 12 months. on the longer side goes on to an actual, I need this,
Yep,
the business case, and then becomes an 18-month sales cycle. So your raise is tied to 18 months of operating capital. So I would suggest your raise is too small.
okay. I'll definitely think that through. Yeah. I will definitely think that through. That's good information. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thanks, Anna.